Scattered among the most powerful families of the Philippines are young women rapidly climbing the ranks of business and politics. They are daughters of the elite and heirs to fortunes that stagger the imagination. Several are ranked among the most powerful women in the world by Forbes. What dynasties do they come from? And what do their homes reveal about how they got there? What follows are the estates of 8 of these women, their ambitions, lifestyles, and the empires behind them. Number 1 will leave you amazed. Number 8. Marcia Gokongwei, the secret penthouse. The first home on our list belongs to an heiress of the Gokongwei fortune, which began from a small cornstarch factory in Pasig City dating back to 1934. Today, it is one of the largest conglomerates in Southeast Asia. And now, the family holds a fortune of over $2 billion with influence over food, airlines, real estate, petrochemicals, and electricity. Marcia is the youngest of the founder's 6 children. Many refer to her as the quietest one in the room, and this smoothly translates to her home. So what does it look like? As we'll see, every single design is minimalist, from clean lines to natural lights and large rooms with lots of space. Behind the mansion are private orchards planted in numbers large enough to supply the kitchen without needing a store. The wellness room specially imports products from Japan and Europe, while the art studio imports paintings from France and Germany for her personal reference. The lounge is located not far from a wine cellar where she and her siblings gather as the younger inner circle of the family business, while the nearby balconies face out over the city. Marcia serves as Managing Director of Operations and Corporate Functions for BCFG Philippines at Universal Robina Corporation. This is the food and snack arm of JG Summit that brings in 3 billion pesos each year. This leads the salty snacks industry with brands under the Jack and Jill label and products widely sold across that region. Marcia manages and oversees all the operations not as the face of the company, but as the engine. And the biggest irony? For someone in a family that owns one of the biggest food companies in Asia, she still operates a large private farm where she grows, manages, and stores her own food. But it doesn't stop there. Her sisters have pulled similar feats with their shares of the empire. Robina, her oldest sister, started at the bottom, working as a stock clerk early on. By 2018, she was CEO of the company's retail holdings with over 150 branches across the country. She stepped down in 2025 after growing the division to over 2,000 stores and now serves as chairwoman. Her home is worth 500 million pesos. Marcia's other sister Lisa started Summit Media with 1 million pesos and a journalism degree from Columbia University. She grew it into the leading lifestyle publisher of the Philippines, which also funds the biggest private scholarship provider for STEM students in the country. She now owns a home worth 720 million pesos, while the other siblings keep the bigger stores, deals, reservations, and contracts running. If that sounds like a lot, we are just getting started. Number 7. Camille Villar, the private family estate. This entire property partly belongs to the youngest senator in the current Philippine Congress and the only daughter of former Senate President Manny Villar. He is also known as the richest person in the Philippines with a net worth well above $10 billion as of April 2026. And his daughter holds an MBA from IESE Business School in Barcelona. Camille Villar also works as Managing Director of Vistaland, the country's biggest home builder as of March 2026. As we'll see, the Villar family home is a sight to behold. It's been redesigned and renovated multiple times, with the last one pulled off by famous interior designers Cynthia and Ivy Almario in a process that took 8 months. The result was a tropical Asian-themed interior with more space and works of art on the walls. The ceilings climb almost as high as those in a cathedral, but the furniture is locally made from less expensive sources. Following older Philippine traditions, the home now has thatched panels lining various sections of the ceilings, and the terrace was covered into the main living room. With hospitality kept at the center of redesigning the entire kitchen during renovation, the dining and utensils are arranged for feeding a crowd at least once a week. The outside garden has a pool with an outdoor pavilion. The organic farm supplies fruits, herbs, and spices specially tended to by farmers. All of this and much more sits within a compound in Las Piñas, and Camille leaves each morning to work as a senator. Before that, though, Camille served as COO of Brittany Corporation, the division in charge of luxury housing and real estate. The Senate seat was won in 2025 with help from the President's Alliance, and she went on to win the Government Hero of the Year and Female Executive of the Year at the Stevie Awards for Women in Business. Her father started with 2 trucks, 10,000 pesos, and a strong political ambition. Now, Camille makes the laws that govern housing and real estate, but if you think that's a very inspiring story, then prepare to be amazed. Number 6. Alessandra Ty, the Makiti Estate. The next home belongs to the daughter of the man who founded Metrobank in 1962. This began from a small office in Binondo and grew into one of the largest banks in the Philippines with over 900 branches today. Alessandra Ty holds the money at the table, serving as treasurer for multiple divisions of her father's business empire with net incomes in the local tens of billions. One of those divisions oversees the development and keeping of one of the largest estates in Makati. This is where she lives, and it is one of the most secure private properties in that part of the country. Now, let's explore the details. The automatic gates opened reveal floors of Italian marble laid in a pattern customized to her taste. The elevator connects 3 levels, and the master suite has a walk-in closet. Things get interesting when we examine the bathroom and spa, both specially developed by Diamond Spas, a leading Japanese company that specializes in crafting custom-made tubs for luxury homes. The gourmet kitchen is where business meetings happen whenever board meetings are handled remotely with a wine cellar found not far away. Another standout feature of her home is the rooftop pool with a view that stretches far past BGC and out toward the bay. On a clear evening, you can see the lights of the ports not too far away from that point. Outside the home, Alessandra also works as director of Oryx Metro Leasing and Grand Titan Capital Holdings. She holds over 6 roles in her family's businesses and earned an MBA from the China-Europe International Business School in Shanghai. But that's not all. Her sister, Arjanet Tai Dai Bujchio, studied economics at the International Christian University in Tokyo before serving as GT Capital's co-treasurer from over a decade. After that, she served as chairwoman of the board of Manila Medical Services, the parent company of Manila Doctors Hospital. Now she serves as vice chairman of her father's Metrobank Card Corporation with over 1 million credit cards distributed in Asia. She also runs Federal Land's treasury and sits on the boards of the GT Foundation and Metrobank Foundation, where she has helped direct tens of millions of pesos in grants to schools and communities across the Philippines. The total construction cost of her mansion lies between 800 to 1 billion pesos, furnished with luxury art pieces and private medical facilities. Speaking of art pieces, our next mansion stands as a personal museum as well as a private estate. Number 5. Mariana Zobel de Ayala, the Zobel Estate. This mansion is partly owned by the 8th-generation heir of Ayala Corporation, also the oldest conglomerate in the Philippines with a market cap of $5.8 billion. Her name is Mariana Zobel de Ayala. She graduated from Harvard, earned her MBA from INSEAD in France, and now serves as managing director of Ayala Corporation, as well as head of leasing and hospitality at Ayala Land. In 2025, Forbes Asia named her one of only 2 Filipinas on its Power Businesswomen list for the entire region. Before all that happened, she spent her gap year at 17 years old working as a production assistant in Hollywood, buying breakfast for actors every morning and managing a payroll of 200 employees. She worked 16 hours each day from 5 in the morning, securing location permits for top celebrities. You would never guess that by looking at where she lives now. So let's delve right in. The family compound sits within the heart of Makati, the city her family essentially built from the ground up. The Zobel family, to everyone's surprise, turned what used to be a swampy airstrip into the most expensive real estate district in the Philippines over the last 50 years. The homes they kept for themselves reflect that history, with luxury interiors built for both work and comfort. Her workspace looks out toward the Ayala Triangle Gardens, the same green area she walks past every day on the way to the office outside the home. Speaking of work, Mariana is currently steering a $1.5 billion redevelopment program across 8 Ayala malls and planning the construction of new ones. The goal is to expand Ayala land's total area available for lease to 2.9 million square meters by 2028. Her family has been building Makati for 50 years. Now she is deciding what it will look like, and time will tell. Number 4. Maricel Pangilinan-Arenas. The Pangilinan family estate. The next estate is co-owned by the eldest of the famous Pangilinan family and sister to Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Her name is Maricel Pangilinan-Arenas, and she is the woman who built the Philippines' first edutainment city entirely from scratch and signed on as employee number 1 at Kidzania, Manila in October 2012. Then she was on a plane to Mexico by her 5th day to do the job. She did all of this on her own without a template and pulled it off exceptionally well. But let's get to the details you're here for. Her home is the path of the Pangilinan family estate located far off from public roads in Calabarzon. It's built on a very large property. Drive right in and you'll cruise long enough to feel like you just moved into a large and quiet city. The ceilings and rooms inside flow into each other without walls. And that's not all. Her section has a workspace that also looks out over the home's garden, where morning light is a sight to behold. Shelves run from floor to ceiling, and the art on the walls came from different countries and different artists, all arranged like a working collection. The large kitchen seats a dozen people, and the wellness room is spacious and simple, equipped with only a yoga mat, a soaking tub, and smaller related tools. Outside the home, Maricel contributed to the design and launch of the Kidzania Manila Play City in 2015. And this attraction covered 8,000 square meters and drew in over 330,000 visitors in 2017 alone. Children could role-play, participate in group activities, earn a special currency, and use it to purchase reserves at various fun spots and attractions in the park. Thousands of families visited each day, but the business was permanently shut down in 2020 because of the global pandemic. Today, she serves as president and CEO of the Bantay Bata Foundation, a widely supported initiative that has been fighting against attacks aimed at Filipino children since 1997. Thanks to her insistence and advice for the less privileged, that estate she lives in today has housed dozens of kids before she was able to open a children's village in Bulacan, where she took care of hundreds. Maricel Pangilinan's home has served her family as well as the community, which leads us to the next one on our list. Though this one's a bit different. Number 3. Christina Maria Consunji, the billion peso spring home. This young woman's father built the Citibank Tower, the SM Mega Mall, and the Shangri-La Mactan Resort under the same company and became known as the father of construction in the Philippines long before she was old enough to get a drink. Meet Christina Maria Consunji, the young woman who grew alongside her sisters within the highest ranks of her country's leading luxury construction empire. Now she runs it alongside them, sitting on the board of DMCI Holdings and its subsidiary Mining and Power Corporation. As we'll see, her family's wealth is incredible. The Consunjis sit among the 6 richest clans in the entire Philippines, and Maria is the assistant overseer of the real estate arm of the company, earning a quadruple contractor license from the government along the way. So what does her home look like? Maria lives in a villa that combines modern lines with tropical materials like open wood, stone, and glass. Almost everything in that home is custom built by the family's company. There are hot spring-fed baths inside the private wings, and the spa suites open into aviaries where live birds move behind glass while she rests. She also has conservatories holding original art, some of which were handmade by her. Maria also has a private cinema, organic kitchens kept by rotating chef teams, and a private gym with yoga pavilions, all of which were built by the construction company and not from any catalog. This company has single-handedly delivered over 40 luxury neighborhoods to over a dozen cities. Their lighting system, called Lumivent, pulls fresh air and natural light from outside through the spine of each tower. With 1.4 billion pesos in net income in the last quarter of the previous year, Maria comes home each evening to a building with features difficult to find elsewhere. Just this year, she was promoted again to vice chairman of the entire DMCI Holdings Group. She now sits at the very top of the family business. Her sister Edwina has been in charge of the family's money for over 15 years, working as the treasurer of DMCI. Josefa was one of those whose stock investments saved the company from falling apart at the peak of 2020's pandemic. Their homes are built by the same company, with leading analysts putting the least expensive home at over $10 million. The next estate on our list is the most expensive residence in the Philippines and partly belongs to Asia's most powerful woman in real estate. Just who is this woman exactly? Let's find out now. Number 2. Jessica Sy. The Sy Estate. Our next estate partly belongs to the daughter of Henry Sy Jr., the chairman of SM Prime Holdings and one of the most powerful names in Philippine real estate. Jessica Jika Sy studied architecture at Queensland University of Technology in Australia and now leads design and strategy across SM Prime and SMDC. In 2024, she was named one of Asia's most powerful women at the Property Guru Asia Property Awards in Bangkok. And her family's estate reflects just that. As you might expect, her home is luxurious, but it goes far deeper than that. Money alone isn't enough to buy this property, and that's the point. The Sy family's original home is in Makati's Forbes Park. Known for many years as the most expensive residence in the Philippines, is where her father Henry Sy passed away in 2008. It was also the same home where 3 generations of the same family grew up, with Forbes Park lots changing hands at about 600,000 persons per square meter. And most of the homes in that family estate sit on lots bigger than 2,000 square meters. This is nothing short of incredible, especially when you do the math and find out that the land alone costs over 1 billion pesos before laying a single brick. The interior is a whole other story, showing what a trained architect is capable of when allowed to own the space and design in the best ways she sees fit. When asked whether she was the one who drew out the designs for the family's new estate, her answer was yes, albeit not directly. What she spoke about instead was her focus on polish rather than luxury. So we're talking about marble floors with soft lighting, warm wood, real art designed by native artists over decorations, breathable rooms, and large windows. Some of these paintings would later be commissioned for the Lifespace gallery she designed at the podium, where she also used works by Reg Yuson and Louis Gonzalez. The wellness wing runs like a private resort, from having a spa with imported sauna to a massage room that smells like eucalyptus and a gym with professional facilities. However, nothing gets the work done better than the dining room, which is mostly hosted by a team of chefs employed by Jessica herself. In her free time, she paints canvases, reads books from her library, journals, and also takes pictures of the gardens within the estate. She reportedly spoke about these hobbies during a photo shoot at the Susana Heights estate, where she brought over 50 books from her own library because she could not decide what to leave behind. Surprisingly, that is just the beginning. She plans on building her own estate in the middle of a housing business she's planning to start by early 2027. This is the Susana Heights project, where she plans on building an entire village of properties with entry-level lots starting at 1 million pesos and leased cuts of 750 square meters. The entire plan costs 25 billion pesos to pull off, with heavy investments coming in from many companies across the world. Thanks to her hard work, SM Prime currently has at least 86 malls across the country, but our next entry is on a whole different level. It isn't an estate or a mansion, but a whole network of them. So now, without further ado, let's explore the top of our list. Number 1. Katrina Razon, a network of mansions. What happens when a woman's constant success across different interests no longer allows her to have a permanent home? Ask Katrina Razon, the famous venture capitalist and daughter of the 175th richest person in the world with a net worth approaching $20 billion. Her own company called KSR Ventures sits on the board of Manila Water and sponsors one of Asia's most successful music festivals. She also works as a DJ, earning a lot from that hobby since she was 16 years old and has never stopped moving since. But here is where things get interesting. Today, she's married and has a family with Pete Forn Prafa, a successful Thai businessman. Where does she live? Well, that largely depends on the time of the year. For example, whenever she is in the Philippines during most festive seasons, she regularly stays at Solaire Resort's chairman's suite. And just in case you didn't catch that, this is the kind of suite that does not have a price tag. The highest and safest view of this property faces Manila Bay, with a private pool sitting outside open to the ski and the water turning emerge when the sun goes down over the South China Sea. The entertainment room is where she practices, and right next to that is a private gym and a kitchen not far away. But Katrina's work doesn't allow her to stay in one place, and where she stays depends on where her work calls. When she is in Thailand for Wonderfruit, she lives in the luxury properties built and located there. Despite this, she often skips going home and chooses to live in the festival itself, sometimes sleeping near the stages and waking to the sound of acoustic steps in the morning. Her lifestyle changes drastically whenever she is in the Maldives, where she stays in a water villa property built right on top of the ocean. Things also get a lot different whenever she travels to Los Angeles, where she goes to work as a businesswoman for her venture capital firm, KSR. This is the smallest property she owns, built in a way that prioritizes work over comfort. Her biggest property is the one in Manila, which has a private wing with a yoga studio she regularly uses. She makes video content from it and has become known for that activity across various online communities. For this activity, she spends 2 hours a day, every day for neurocentric yoga, which she says works the brain the same way it works the body. Speaking of hobbies, Katrina Razon has also built a special room in her home for streaming the latest horror movies and series. This is a real room with surrounding speakers and a large screen that takes up most of the wall. Beyond the home, Katrina also serves as a director in several divisions under Prime Infrastructure Capital and Prime Waste Solutions. Aside from owning a network of luxury homes across the world, many people view her as a jack of all trades. She spoke at the Forbes Global CEO Conference in Singapore in 2022, climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in 2020, teaches yoga, surfs when the waves are right, and also works as a wildlife activist. Now tell us what you think. Have any of these stories inspired you? Or is there someone important we've missed, or maybe just an honorable mention? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now, click on the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.